It's not an update, but
yeah,
like
right, like an iPhone update. No, you're right though.
Like,
they do. Like the generation that we have now is much better, much more durable than the ones that you had.
Today my guest is Dr. Kandace Kichler, double board certified cosmetic surgeon, founder of the Slimming Surgeon brand. She's passionate about helping women feel confident, powerful, and at home in their own skin. Welcome to the $1 Million Style Podcast. This is our new episode with fantastic doctor, the Slimming Surgeon, Dr. Kandace Kichler.
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me, Eva.
Thank you so much. So let's dive into it. I'm so excited to hear about everything. And first question I want to ask you is, what's the biggest misconception people still have about cosmetic surgery today?
This is a great question. And the problem is everyone still thinks that cosmetic surgery is purely vanity, when in reality, cosmetic surgery and plastic surgery and all of the things that we do, they're really more about confidence and, transformation. So whether it's, after weight loss or maybe childbirth or even trauma, cosmetic surgery is about change and growth, not just vanity.
That's so true. How sculpting the human body shifted your perspective on your own image and beauty ideals?
So I was telling Eva before the podcast started recording that I just had a little bit of sculpting done to myself. And for me, it wasn't about, I saw a flaw that I needed to fix. It was more about looking the way I felt that I wanted to look. When I look in the mirror, I see this vision of who I want to be and
your
what
best self,
my
best
best
version
self.
of yourself.
Exactly.
Why not?
And so I said, well, what am I waiting for? Like I'm young, I'm healthy. I want to enjoy my body the way I want it to look. And with these little subtle enhancements we do now, you get to enjoy for the rest of your life. And so sculpting other people helped me see, like how happy and how confident and how people really felt like their true selves afterwards. And so that inspired me to do it myself.
So about the mind behind the surgeon, tell us about turning point in your journey, a moment of doubt that ultimately defined your career.
Yeah, this is great. Because people who've known me for, more than 5 years or so know that I had a completely different identity. 6 years ago, I was a general surgeon doing bariatric weight loss surgery. And I was given this amazing opportunity to go and do another fellowship to learn my current trade, to learn pure cosmetic plastic surgery. And making that shift was a huge step for me. And I really, worried, are people going to take me seriously? Am I making the right decision? But stepping into this career, I truly feel like this is what I was meant to do. And everything I've done was just preparing me for the next step. But that big leap for me was such a transformative moment, and it put me into the person I am now.
What do you believe is the biggest silent epidemic among high-achieving women today?
I really still think that a lot of high-achieving women like us, we lower ourselves. We silence ourselves. Like we don't speak up when we should speak up, and we are too quiet and don't promote ourselves.
Not good enough, not ready enough.
Yes.
I need to learn a little bit more to do something, or I need time. No, you have to act fast and act now and take that first step, right?
Yeah, I think, we're assertive in certain situations, but then there's others where if it were a man in the same exact position, he would have already taken the job. He would have already made the deal. He would have already done this, and we maybe sometimes want to be more calculated or want to study, but a lot of times we need to use our own intuition and our instinct. Like women are given an amazing intuition and we know the answers. I just feel like sometimes we stall or sometimes we don't say what we really mean.
True. And take action now. Yes. Take that advice and take action right now when you have that thought. Don't delay.
Mm-hmm.
If you could rewrite the internal dialogue of today's woman with the mindset shift, what would it be?
I think along the same lines, I think it's good for women to say it's okay to take up space. You know, it's okay for me to be successful and powerful and go for my dreams, not settle for someone else's dreams or someone else's idea of my reality. I've struggled with that, you know, been given opportunities and they lay out, you know, this beautiful map or this beautiful plan that works perfectly for them. But is it truly what I want? It hasn't always been. So I think saying internally that I deserve what I deserve is super important for women.
Something you've unlearned about success or beauty that changed everything for you.
I think a lot of times we look at powerful women and they come off mean or like a bitch, you know?
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just don't think you need to be that way. I don't think that that is necessary to be, you know, looked at nicely or looked up to. I think you can be powerful, but still at the same time be very kind, generous, and thoughtful. And I think that truly for me is like something that, you know, you give, you know, that frozen, that resting bitch face, like that's not necessary. You can still be very beautiful, successful, and powerful, but like kind.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Totally. As we look to the future, what do you think the next evolution of beauty will look like? And are we already stepping into it?
I think we are. You know, I truly think that we are stepping into this era of refinement, like looking like yourself, but a little bit nicer version, getting our youthful glow back, and really focusing on looking like yourself, but better. And we're already moving there. We're doing a lot of stuff with regenerative medicine that's more science-backed versus just plumping ourselves up with chemicals and fillers. So I think it's going in the right direction. I think we're already like starting to touch the surface with exosomes and growth factors and stem cells. So to be determined.
Like living 120 years old and looking like 25.
Would love that, right?
That's our future. So about style, branding, and identity. How do you think the appearance and style of a CEO of or team affects the way brand is perceived?
I obviously work in aesthetics, and for me, appearance is everything. You know, your style, the way you look, it's a silent language. It tells people how you think, how you're going to take care of them, how serious you are, you know. It's so funny, back when I was doing like emergency surgery, people would look at me with makeup on and question like, well, why are you so pretty? And I would tell them, if I can take this much good care of my eyeliner, imagine how good I'll do on your surgery.
So you're an example.
I truly think like if you look good, it elevates your personality, your energy, it makes you perform better. And for me, like I don't leave the house unless I feel like I look good. It doesn't have to be crazy. Like I don't dress like this every day, but you know, feeling good about myself is super important.
We should dress like we feel, go out like grocery shopping in our best selves because we would feel just great. Before you introduce yourself, your image already speaks. How do you curate your personal style to reflect who you are and as a surgeon and as a woman?
I aim to be like this blend of elevated but approachable. You know, I want people to know that I care about my appearance just like you care about your appearance. And that's why you're seeing me, because there's something that maybe you want to enhance. I want you to know that I get it, that I'm approachable and you can ask questions or you can, you know, look to me for guidance because I care about the same things. Like I see the little tweaks that you want to make. But I wanted to be elevated. I wanted to look, I want to come off as very chic and modern and up to date, which really encompasses my brand itself. Like I'm constantly following what's new.
You are your brand, of
Yeah.
course. If I would choose the surgeon, which is wearing everything, just went to the closet and pulled everything out, not thinking what he's wearing, I would doubt how would my surgery go and would he think about, matching things.
It's so true. I mean, what we do is art. And at the same time, like the clothes that I wear, it's a form of art. Like I'm making sure things match. I'm making sure that they aesthetically look good on my body. If there's a part I don't like, I cover it.
In what ways do you believe cosmetic surgery and personal branding intersect in today's culture?
Branding and cosmetic surgery are both about amplifying and elevating your voice. You want people to see you in a way that reflects how you feel on the inside. And your brand has to reflect that. Your logo, your website, like everything, your social media has to showcase a person who you want people to relate to. And similarly, cosmetic surgery, it's something that internally we see ourselves as one way. I was flat chested. I look like a little boy, but that's not how I saw myself. I saw myself as a very womanly, figure that would need breast augmentation at some point. Like we all make choices, and our brand, our surgeries, they all are the purpose to amplify what we feel on the inside.
If a woman is investing in herself for the first time, should she begin with skincare, her wardrobe, or her inner mindset?
This is great because really before I launched my aesthetic career, I went to a course on mindset, and the course was literally called Think Big.
So inner work,
100%, because that kind of helps with all the other things. Like it helps you make good decisions about your wardrobe, your skincare, all of the things, because if you have a good mindset about yourself, you're going to exude that in all areas of your life.
So first you have to see the vision of yourself, how you feel, how you want to be seen, and only then and go step by step what to do to achieve it, right?
Yes.
What's the most unexpected item in your wardrobe that tells a deeper story about you?
So this is funny. I don't wear them anymore, but I still have a pair of snakeskin clogs from my medical school days. And literally there's another surgeon across the country who pointed this out a couple years ago. And let me tell you, they're probably like 15 years old at this point. I don't wear them, but they remind me of like grit and grace, like how you have to work hard, the clogs, but you can do it gracefully, which was the snake skin. And it's so funny because I randomly chose those shoes, but looking back, I'm like, of course I chose those shoes,
Yeah, that's
so
the
funny.
mindset as well.
Yeah.
So we all have that one fashion regret. What was yours and what did it teach you?
Okay, so
if you have any.
No, I do. It's not with clothing though. It's really more with like my style in general. Like I used to do this crazy swoop bang. Like I had this hair that I would make sure was perfectly coiffed, and I would hairspray it down, and I wouldn't leave the house unless it was perfect. And it was all like, the reason why I did that is because I felt like I needed to look perfect, but also it was almost like hiding part of my face. It was like making me feel like my proportions were better. And getting rid of those and like moving into accepting my face the way it is, or making the little tweaks that I've always wanted to make, it really was a big confidence booster, and it was freeing because I was like, I don't need to hide behind bangs. Why? There are so many other people out there who are just living life, and I should be doing the same thing. So I look back now and I'm like, wow, I looked really silly with those huge, crazy bangs.
Trendy that time.
It was, but it was extra. I went like
Too
over
much.
the top.
What has been your most empowering wardrobe investment, the one piece that makes you feel invincible?
For me, it was my first Chanel bag. You know, that was like, I'm from Alabama. I grew up on a farm. I grew up in the country. No one had Chanel bags. Like, they still don't.
Still don't. Yes.
And being able to buy that for myself and wear that
It's
bag,
an achievement.
it
It's
was
like trophy for yourself.
Huge for me.
that's a
And
cool-
it was like, you know, it's like a lady's bag. It's not a girl's bag.
Sometimes not about the bag itself. It's just like the milestone. I think
Yes.
it's more that.
Totally what it represented like at that time. But it's still like, even today when I wear it, I just feel more confident. Like, yes, I have this bag and I love this bag and it makes me feel good about everything I've done.
Woman who has perfect wardrobe, she has perfect life. And for men, it's garage, obviously. So how is it about you? It's just like everything has to be perfect in your home, in your wardrobe.
I wish. You know, I think I'm like a good blend. I do find times in my closet is organized. Like I, you know, have a system and everything does have a place. Whether it's always in its place, that's another story.
But you're a busy mom.
But I'm a busy mom. If I had my way, like for example, when my husband went out of town recently with both of my kids and I was home by myself, my house was immaculate. It was beautiful and I loved it. I loved the organization. I loved all of that. So I would say, you know, and my fashion's the same. Like I'll play with trends and I'll do, you know, crazy stuff from time to time. I bought one of those silly Labubus, you know, to throw in my purse. Like I'll play, but surgery's more like precise. Like I know the goal, I achieve the goal, I envision it ahead of time, and I am very dedicated to making sure that the outcome is what I want. So I'm a little more strict in that arena, but I do love organization in my fashion and my style too.
Is there something in your closet that would completely surprise us? Something unexpected and unfiltered?
I have like old like band tees and stuff like that, but I think that's everybody. Like
Yeah.
I think we all hang on to little like our junk shirts and stuff that we wear to bed sometimes. Of course I have those, but nothing off the
shocking.
wall. Nothing shocking. I don't have like a stripper outfit or anything.
What's the fashion trend you wish we could erase from the history?
Okay, so I was thinking low rise would be a really big hit. Like most people would agree with me on that. But then I was thinking on the drive over here, like remember those like gauchos, like pants that came like halfway down your lower leg and they were like very flowy.
Yeah.
Those were not cute. Like
Yeah.
I don't like those. So for me, that was a big no-no. And I wore them and it didn't go well.
Yeah. And now it's coming back again.
I know. And I'm like, please no. But also low rise. These pants are somewhat low rise, which I did not know until I put them on today. And I'm like, oh, geez.
I loved skinny pants though. When
Yes.
it was like my all my half of wardrobe is skinny pants, and they're still there because I cannot get rid of them.
No, I know. I love my skinny jeans too.
You have a outfit that takes the whole space, like the attention, or no?
I do. I have several pink suits.
Oh,
Like I almost wore it today, but I feel like I wore it too many. I have like 3 full pink suits, like pink blazer, pink pants, pink top, and
very feminine.
very feminine. And for me, it's like, I'm not necessarily like a super, super girly girl, but I love wearing that because everybody else enjoys it. You know, I get so many positive comments like, oh my gosh, I love your pink suit. It's so
Yes,
cute. It's
because
so
sometimes
nice.
you don't wear things for yourself, but for others. That's
Totally.
beautiful.
And it's like inspiring, you know, it gives other women the confidence to be girly. When I feel, you know, especially in business or in medicine, it's very strict and you should wear black or navy. Like, no, we can wear pink. It's okay.
Yeah.
Or leopard. I will wear black anytime. Like it's just like my color,
It's
you know?
your color of confidence, probably.
Yeah. And I know I will look good if I'm wearing black. Like, so I'll look
safe
sleek.
space.
Yeah, it's my safe space. I don't care if it's, you know, July 4th and it's like a barbecue. I may throw on a black top with my jean
Your
shorts.
happy color.
Yeah. So that's the rule that I break and I'm proud of it because I don't care. My husband jokes all the time. We'll go to dinner and he'll be like, what are you wearing? Let me guess, black. You're right, babe. You're right.
Because you feel good. You have to wear what you feel good in. About the body trends, breast implant illness, and empowered choices. So, painful topic for me because a year ago I explanted my own breast implants. I thought I implemented my body as I see it, as I want it, but then I kept seeing those cases, they expire. Like, wait a minute, I have to check. But I checked everything. Everything was fine. No leaks, no ruptures, no nothing. And I was still getting worried. So I just did that. I took them out because I do yoga, and they were like messing with my body at the state of I am now. What if they went bad? So I just got them out.
Yeah.
Do you get those requests, and or do you just advise to change them every 10 years? Because I don't remember my doctor telling me that I will have to change them every 10 years.
Yeah, it's a very good topic to discuss because so many people do have breast implants. You know, a lot of us got them when we were younger, and we all have different types. So I approach this topic like with education, with like what evidence we do have, and also of course with empathy, because your story and my story are not the same, nor is the person down the street. So if your implants are getting in your way, they're possibly, you feel they're related to a health issue, you want to go back to a more natural look, like absolutely, we should explore that and you should consider explant. Now, there's also women who are completely fine and they have implants and they've had them for many years. I approach every single person individually because, again, your story is not my story, and how your body reacts to an implant can be very different from someone else's.
Do they expire?
They don't technically expire. Like the manufacturers, and has changed through the years. So yes, at one point there were implants that need to be pulled from the market. There's different textures and there's different fills. All of these things play into the answer to that question. So that's why it's so personalized, because the manufacturer warranty is for 10 years. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to go bad on 10 years in day one, but they might go bad sooner than that. Everybody's different. You may be in a traumatic, event. You may be bungee jumping or in a car accident, or something could happen. Your kid could jump on your chest and they could rupture sooner than the 10-year mark. Or they could be fine for 25 years. Every single person's different. And I think it's important that, like you talk with your doctor, you check yourself.
You have to consider all these facts. Yeah, because sometimes people many doctors, I think, even believe the breast implant illness is fake, and then it kind of got accepted even by FDA.
Yeah, it is a diagnosis. It is
now
a diagnosis.
It's accepted as a diagnosis. Pluses and minuses, you have to do the research yourself.
100%. Right.
Yeah.
The only thing we know is that if you take them out and you feel better, great. That's like what we know. But there are going to be people who take them out and maybe they don't see a big change, but they don't think about it all the time. Like you said you were day and night thinking about it. And if you're better mentally, physically, emotionally without them, and it gives you physical benefits to take them out, then of course. But then there's people who are the opposite, who tell me, like, oh, I had them, I took them out, but I really want them back in, and that's okay too. I think everyone should do what's best for their body.
It's not an update, but
yeah, like an iPhone update. No, you're right though. They do. Like the generation that we have now is much better, much more durable than the ones that you had. Absolutely. You're 100% right. And also, you can think about saline versus silicone. Like we are still putting in saline implants, and you'll know if those go bad because they'll deflate and your boob will be small. But the silicone, that is the hard thing to tell if they're ruptured unless you actually get imaging.
How do you guide clients when their desired procedure is driven more by trend?
I think a good way to look at this, should you do a procedure that's trendy? Fast forward 5 years, fast forward 10 years. Are you going to still want that look? If it's something permanent, filler that even too, we shouldn't be overdoing it to make yourself look a certain way, but especially surgical alteration where maybe you're placing an implant or removing skin or, permanently altering anatomy. You got to think about the long term. Like, is that going to look good when I'm 50, 60, 70? Especially, I think about BBLs and these people who get this overly done, really, really, really big butt. How is that going to look when you're a grandma? Like, it's not going to age well. And I try to, I make that joke and I talk about it, but you have to be real with yourself. Like, are you really going to like it in 5 years? Is it worth this investment and this change to your body?
Are clients requesting more natural enhancements today?
Absolutely. I mean, if people are getting implants, they want smaller than they used to. It used to be like, oh my gosh, I want, double D, F, all the things. And now I just want a little volume here. They'll point to the top part of their breast. And in most cases, you might need an implant to achieve that look, but it's still a subtle enhancement. They don't want really big. They don't want to look like there's an implant there.
Also, it can be lift instead of the implant. You have many solutions to fix that.
Or fat transfer. Yeah, there are a lot of options we have today that we didn't before. And even some of the fillers that are out on the market now can be used to enhance your cleavage. But it's definitely more, some people call them ballerina boobs or a ballerina body, Pilates body, where you look sculpted, you look toned, but you don't look edgy. I think we're really getting a handle on beauty because it was really crazy. People were following trends like mad, and they were focused on filters and this perfect aesthetic. But now people are more like, I want to look like me, but nicer. I want to look like me, but a couple years ago. It used to also, a common thing would be, I'd have 50, 60, 70-year-old people want to look 25. And people are realizing that that's not possible. Or if you try to do that, you're going to look really crazy. So looking like yourself, not too many decades younger, we're getting there. And we're doing things that fit our bodies better.
$1 million woman always?
She knows that her value isn't necessarily in her looks, but how she shows up to the world. 100%. Like your confidence, the energy you bring to a room, your inspiration for others is way more important than how you look. But looking nice is like icing on the cake.
Thank you. What procedure has evolved the most over the past 10 years?
The tummy tuck. So I no longer use drains. The recovery is quicker. Downtime is less. I think that's one area that's evolved. But in the same line, body contouring, I'm able to do sculpting, liposuction, fat removal, skin tightening procedures awake with no anesthesia, just some medications to help you relax.
On your lunch break.
You can have lunchtime lipo. And, body contouring has changed so dramatically in that aspect because it used to be like, oh, you want to get your body done, it's going to be like a month off. You got to take off time from work. You can't exercise, like so many limitations. And technology has advanced, but also recovery protocols have advanced. So it's really not as invasive and there's not as much downtime as there used to be.
Is there a particular surgery you believe is often requested for the wrong reasons?
People want to do like this fox eye, or they want to do crazy stuff with their eyelids, too big or too small of implants, or like a weird shape, or the too big of a butt. Like, oh, I want to get this huge butt. I want to do 2 or 3 BBLs, or I want my waist so small that I wear this crazy corset. Like, you got to think about the long term with that, just like we talked about before.
If you could educate every patient on one principle before surgery, what it would be?
This is a good one. I would tell people that perfection is a myth. Mm-hmm. Okay. You're never going to look perfect. I'm not going to look perfect ever in my own eyes. And you're not ever going to look perfect in your own eyes. We can look like a better enhanced version of ourselves, but looking like the magazine or the filtered face, or, if you're 65 looking like the 35-year-old that you see on TikTok. It's just not realistic. And if you set your expectation that I'm going to look like me but better, instead of I want to look like X or I want to look perfect, then you'll be happier, I'll be happier, we'll all be happier.
And do you recommend doing some fitness together with these procedures?
I have two kind of thoughts on this. Like, I 100% tell people, from the beginning that you should focus on your health and your wellness and be healthy or be close to your goal weight before you have a procedure, especially if it's a body contouring procedure, because that's what you're trying to achieve, a certain shape. And if you're not doing the other things, like I can sculpt you, but if you're eating poorly and you're doing no exercise and you've got toxicity all throughout your personal life, you're never going to be happy or look the way you want to look. So on one hand, yes, I emphasize these things, but I also find that many times a procedure can jumpstart that healthy lifestyle.
And you want to keep up.
Yeah, right. You invest this money to,
don't
change your
it.
shape. And it's like, okay, well, I literally had a girl tell me yesterday, anytime I eat something bad, I think, wow, I don't want to ruin my results. And so it's been very motivating for her. And so I can see both sides, but no matter what, after the procedure, whether or not they focus on wellness beforehand, I try to encourage that afterwards, whether that be like, okay, let's get you on a diet. I'll send my patients my diet plan, or focusing on some peptides that can help with appetite, like whatever you need, as long as you're doing it healthily, the right way.
And support it.
And support
just,
it.
Like, maintain it.
Yeah, because
That's awesome.
of course you don't want to waste the money.
And the last question, how do you balance clients' vision with your expertise in achieving the result that's both beautiful and ethical?
This is really important because I like to educate people. I want to hear your goals. And I do this almost every time. Like, I say, what's a good outcome for you? Like, what do you want to see? And then we talk about what's realistic. And then somewhere along the way, we collaborate. And I think that's the best way, because you're telling me what you want to see. I'm talking about what's physically possible, how much that's going to cost, what kind of downtime you're going to have, like the technical details. And then we meet in the middle. I see people all the time, moms who have stomach issues that they don't like. Oh, my skin's loose, or my muscle is loose. It's stretched out from the children and I have stretch marks. And okay, there's a spectrum. Like, do you want to do something not invasive or something really invasive? And then I tell you what that's going to look like, and we make a plan together.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Sounds like a wonderful plan. So I'm so happy that you shared your expertise and your thoughts about all these topics. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy that you could come.
Thank you for having me. This was amazing. I think, us talking about confidence and style, they go hand in hand, and it's not a bad thing to appreciate the external.
So thank you so much for today, and hope to see you on the next episode.
Thank you.